And I talked to my doctor and she said, well, we could do an ablation. And I said, oh, that sounds great. What is the negative to it? She said, oh, there's really no negative. I said, okay, let's do it. I said, will it put me in menopause? And she said, no. So I had the ablation. Very shortly after that, I started to have significant troubles at work. Seriously tired. I could barely get through the day at work. I had major brain fog, serious difficulty concentrating. I had gone from being really effective and really good at my job to being almost unable to do the job.
Hey friend, welcome to the Menopause Makeover. Do you want to lose weight and keep it off? Are you struggling with stubborn weight gain, trying everything but seeing no results? Do you wake up with big ambitions only to feel exhausted and overwhelmed as the day goes on, leaving your own needs last? Hey, I'm Chris. I know exactly what it feels like to battle the perimenopause spread, that frustrating weight gain that seems to come out of nowhere. What used to work for weight loss suddenly stopped, and my hormones left me sleep-deprived, depressed, unmotivated, and anxious, not to mention dealing with relentless hot flashes. I was a busy homeschooling, midlife working mom and health coach, yet I felt lost when it came to my own body. I wanted more energy, less belly fat, and more strength. I felt powerless. Until I found health strategies to work with my hormones, not against them, I couldn't lose weight, and I didn't even feel like myself. In this podcast, you will find out how to stop the weight loss struggle, why your hormones are all over the place, and how to support them, and how to get healthy when you feel lost and alone so that you can feel good in your body again. Grab your sipper, pop in those earbuds, and let's go. Hey friends, welcome back to the Honeycast. Today's episode is packed with hope, inspiration, and a whole lot of real talk. I'm so excited to introduce you to my friend and fellow Trim Healthy Mama coach, KJ York. KJ is a passionate health coach who empowers women to honor God with their health choices. Her story of overcoming lifelong battles with food addiction, hormone imbalance, and weight loss stalls is going to bless you big time. In this episode, KJ shares how the power of community, a focus of faith, and a commitment to practical strategies helped her break free from the diet cycle and finally find peace with her body. She opens up about the struggles of dealing with hormone imbalance, the lessons she learned from trying GLP-1 medications, and why surrendering her journey to God changed everything. If you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or just plain tired of the weight loss battle, this episode is for you. I am so happy to introduce to you today a fellow colleague, Trim Healthy coach and friend, KJ York, and she is going to blow your socks off. I know you're going to love to hear from her. So let's go ahead and get started. KJ, tell us a little bit about who you are and your journey into Trim Healthy Mama.
Sure. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so I've fought with food addiction and weight struggles my entire life. As far back to childhood, I can remember obsessing over diets and food and just really struggling to get my feet under me health-wise right from a young age. And I remember it particularly in my teens, being different, being heavier than the other girls, and just it was always a focus of my life, losing weight or why was I gaining weight or being hooked on some kind of food. It was just, there was something always revolving around food in my life. And that went on as a young married woman, and I gained a significant amount of weight after getting married. And it wasn't until about, I think I was 42 when I decided to look at Trim Healthy again. I had done it once. I had lost like 20 or 25 pounds before I kind of veered back off into my old habits. And this time I decided, you know what, it worked before. I'm going to focus on Trim Healthy again. But this time I'm going to do something different. I'm going to tell everyone what I'm doing. And so I posted about it on social media because in the past I had kept it very secret. If I was on a diet, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want anyone to know because when I failed, which I felt like inevitably I would, then there would be no judgment because nobody knew. This time I decided to tell everyone about it, and a beautiful, magical thing happened, and women from all around the country and the world really came and supported me and lifted me up and encouraged me. And one day I decided to cook live, and a lot of people watched, and that's history. And from
Seriously.
there, yeah.
That that's awesome. That's how I heard of you as well. I did see you in the group some, and I'm not in the main Facebook group all the time,
Yeah.
but I did see you. But I remember having a client, this was a while back, and she was like, "Have you seen KJ? What's the deal with her?" And I remember going, "No, I don't think I have." And I went and I saw you. I was like, "Oh my goodness. This is amazing." And to me, watching you on video, you just seem so natural. Like it just seemed like it's just what you do. And then to see all the ladies that were encouraging you and that were also learning from you and being encouraged by you has just been just amazing.
Yeah.
You've got to feel really good about that.
Yeah, I really do. I do. And I really believe that the Lord just, He knew what I needed, and that was a community. And it was nothing that I had ever employed in my weight loss journey before. Community was nothing I ever thought I needed or wanted. I've always been I'm very social, and yet I'm a loner at the same time. And so to feel like I needed other people to help me wasn't natural for me. But when it happened, it was beautiful. I gained friends from all over the country, and it just changed my whole life having support to do it. And that kept me on plan. And it kept me, when I started, it was in September, and the encouragement of women kept me on plan through the entire holiday season. And once I got through the holidays, I was like, okay, if I can stay completely on plan through the holidays, why am I ever not staying on plan? If I can do holiday season and not eat the junk, then why am I ever choosing to eat it? So I've been on plan since then. I haven't gone off plan since then because I recognized it wasn't the impossibility I thought it was. And that was because other women encouraged me.
So you say that there was what it sounds like is a flip, kind of a switch got flipped with you asking yourself, okay, if I can stay on this hard season, why can't I stay on all the time? Was there a learning curve with that? Like, what did it become hard? Did you feel resistance, or was it just mind made up? I can do this. Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, part of it was because I was doing so much cooking live and posting about it that people would say things like, well, I like, chocolate chip cheesecake. Can you make that healthy? And became like a challenge to
Hmm.
make everybody's favorites in a healthy version. And that's what I did. And I came up with all of these healthy recipes. So it kind of became like I can prove to you that it doesn't matter what kind of food you love, I can give you an alternative that's healthy. So it kind of became like a mission to prove people wrong, I guess.
That's great. That's so good. I love that. That's the way I look at Trim Healthy and also exercise.
Yeah.
I'm a personal trainer and for years I've been working with ladies. And my thought is anytime somebody tells me they can't work out because of this, I'm like, no, we can find a way for you no matter what. If you're in a wheelchair, we can still find a way.
Yeah.
It's that belief
Yeah.
you can. And I think that is huge in any type of behavior change that we're trying to do is believing. And I love the fact, like you said, it's great sometimes when you just have a mission because I think it is a little bit of it helps you stay in it because it's
Yes.
not just for you, it's for other people as well.
Yes. Yeah. Watching other people benefit from it and watching their eyes open to the fact that they could make healthy choices that, most of the time when we were choosing unhealthy, it's not because we couldn't, it's because we didn't want to. And
Yeah.
recognizing that, really watching other people come to that realization just kept me going. It just lit my fire more and more. And I began to see that there was purpose in what I was doing, that it was helping other people, it was starting to change other people's lives. Like it was bigger than just me being on a diet. It became my ministry.
And I think for some people, they would say, well, that's not me. I
Mhm.
don't have a ministry like that. But What about, what about just any woman that has a call of God on her life and has a family and has generations that she's impacting? I would say that that's a mission for
Yeah.
them. It may not be helping hundreds of women, but it is a mission.
Right. We all have a mission field of some sort, and it doesn't matter if it's impacting one person or millions. We all have a mission of some sort, and my mission field became people online.
Yeah, I love it. I love, love, love it. So let's move on. I just thought we would just chat. I had
Yeah.
a few little questions here. We're going to go in and out of the rabbit trails. So the latest thing I believe that you have transitioned out of has been the GLP-1 experience, and I have so many ladies that have questions about that. And I would love to hear your experience because it seems like your experience has been a positive one, but yet you've kind of taken a break from that right now. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So after losing almost 80 pounds, I hit a stall, and it wasn't just a 2 week or 4 week stall. It was almost 2.5 to 3 year stall where I was doing all the things, making all the good choices, doing all the exercise, and still not seeing the scale move at all. And so when Kiora came out with GLP-1, I thought, okay, I had a lot of faith in Trim Healthy as it was. I talked to Pearl a lot about it, and did a lot of research. I didn't just jump in. I did a lot of research of the benefits and how maybe it could help my journey. And so I decided to give it a try. And I started almost a year ago. I was on it for 46 weeks. The first 2 weeks that I was on the GLP-1, I lost 12 pounds. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the missing piece for me. I'm finally going to break through this. And it was actually 12 pounds that I had begun to gain. I had sort of not only stalled, but I had started to go the other direction and gaining some weight. And so, despite doing all the things, so I decided to do the GLP-1, and I really didn't have a negative experience on it. I wasn't sick. I didn't have the heartburn, the nausea that people complain about. I didn't really have any of that. I felt good, and I was sharing it with the world. But I wasn't losing weight. I wasn't having the side effects, but I also wasn't having the wins from it. I wasn't losing weight. And so after a while, I switched from one GLP-1 to another. I switched from tirzepatide to semaglutide, tried it for a while, saw zero positive impact from it, and decided to switch back to tirzepatide. And I was on the max dose that I could be on, and just nothing was happening. So I talked to my doctor, and he said, well, there are people that are considered non-responders. And he said I would call you a non-responder.
Oh
So
my gosh.
love being the odd man out.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad experience. I didn't
Right.
have the one negative impact that I had from it was once I got on the highest dose for me, I started to experience almost resentment towards food.
Hmm.
It's I lost joy in food. I've always found joy in cooking, being in the kitchen, creating new recipes. But suddenly I found myself in a place where I didn't want to be in my kitchen. I was irritated with other people for needing to eat. I didn't want to
Oh,
create
yeah.
recipes. I completely lost my joy in that part of my life. And I didn't like that because it was a big part of my life, and I didn't like the way that made me feel. And that's when I decided, okay, I'm not responding. I'm spending thousands of dollars on a med that I'm not losing weight on, and I don't like how it's making me feel emotionally about food. So I decided it was time to call it quits.
And so did that joy come back?
Yes, it's been about 4 weeks that I've been off the med, and I feel like myself again as far as food goes. Like, I'm excited to make breakfast again, to cook live. I had gotten to the point where I would search and search and search through the internet every morning to find something to cook live because nothing sounded
Oh,
good. And everything I would open, I'd be like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm back to every morning I'm like, oh, I could do this or I could do that. Or, I'm back to having that excitement and creativity around recipes.
It's so fun and it's so encouraging to see you do your kitchen stuff, your food. It
Yeah.
makes me want to try it. But you always
Yeah.
look so beautiful. First thing in the morning, I was thinking about doing a live with my breakfast, and here I am in my red robe, and my hair's all stood up, and I don't even know how to use filters. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do it. All right, I'm pivoting now because one of my
Yeah.
favorite topics, and one thing that I focus on with my ladies in perimenopause and menopause, is the hormone topic. So
Uh,
I'd love to hear where you are with that and your experience, and what's kind of going on in that realm.
yeah. I'm getting more and more excited about hormone topics because I never really saw it as something I needed. I just had no idea how much I needed hormone replacement therapy. It's funny when I stop and really think about it. I needed it for a long time. So I had an endometrial ablation in well, it would have been almost 7 years ago. I was 40. I had really painful periods, and I was sick of having painful periods. It wasn't anything abnormal, really. I was just tired of dealing with it. And I talked to my doctor, and she said, well, we could do an ablation. And I said, oh, that sounds great. What is the negative to it? She said, oh, there's really no negative. I said, okay, let's do it. I said, will it put me in menopause? And she said, no. So I had the ablation. Horrible, horrible experience, but that's another story. I had the ablation and stopped having cycles, and that was it. Well, very shortly after that, I started to have significant troubles at work. Seriously tired. I could barely get through the day at work. I had major brain fog. I mean, I was talking to my husband like, I think I have dementia or something happening, serious difficulty concentrating. I had gone from being really effective and really good at my job. I worked in healthcare information systems, and I was really good at my job, to being almost unable to do the job. I didn't understand what was happening in meetings. I couldn't focus on the meetings. I could barely get through a workday without going out to my car and taking a short nap. It was terrible. I went to the doctor for these terrible joint pains that I was having. I wasn't sleeping at night, so I would go to the doctor. I was having anxiety. They put me on an anxiety med. I was complaining about this difficulty concentrating and the tiredness, and they called it fibromyalgia. That was what my issue was. Just kind of blew me off and really treated me like, oh, you again type of a situation. I didn't really think anything of that other than I thought it was my lack of healthy eating, because I started to feel somewhat better when I began eating healthier, but I never really felt the way I did, especially in my job. I didn't feel the way I had at one time. I felt like, okay, is this just, I'm getting older? What's going on? Why am I in so much pain all the time? Why am I so confused all the time and really anxious? And when I was on the podcast, the Trim Healthy podcast, not that long ago, I was telling Pearl about some of these things, and she said, "You need your hormones checked." And I just kind of looked at her like, "But I'm only 46. Like, so why would I need my hormones?" I guess 45 at the time. So I went and had my blood work done, and my doctor goes, "Oh, congratulations! You're completely postmenopause."
Wow.
And I said, "I'm what? I'm 45. How am I postmenopause?" Like I know some people go through it earlier, but I just didn't. My mom didn't. I just never thought that that's what was. I had no idea. Absolutely zero idea that I was going through menopause. So I went on the replacement therapy. I've been on it since August, the end of August. So about 5 months. I cannot even begin to tell you the difference in the person that I am. I feel sharp again. I feel able to do my work. There are so many days I don't do that other job anymore. But even this job, I would sit at my desk for 9 hours and get nothing done. And now by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, well, now what? I've done everything for the day. I'm sharp. I have energy. Yeah, I don't take afternoon naps once in a great while if I feel like it, but not because I have to. I sleep through the night. I'm a different person.
I hear that over and over. I have experienced that myself. And that's why I wanted to ask about it, because there's so many people that are afraid of hormone replacement therapy because they think that it
Yeah.
causes cancer, and which is a myth. And I just like
Yep.
to talk to people about it who are actually doing it and get their story, because for me and for a lot of my clients, it has been a game changer,
Yeah.
especially when you're in the perimenopause and menopausal years. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that. And I do remember when you were really struggling. I think you maybe had posted in the coaches chat group or something. And I'm so glad you were able to find Kiora. I'm on
Yeah.
Kiora too, and I've had an amazing experience so far. So I'm so happy for you with that.
Yeah. I feel I just feel like me again. I feel like I did 20 years ago. I really do. And I had started to gain weight before I started the GLP-1. And then I lost what I had gained on the GLP-1, but then never lost any more. Well, I expected to stop the GLP-1 and it to immediately return, and it didn't. And I think the difference is I'm
Hormone.
on the replacement therapy now.
Yes. That is so
Yeah.
great. That is so good. Okay, I want to ask you about your coaching. What are you on fire about right now? What are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah, so I have a group that goes on all the time. And right now we're focused on surrendering our journeys to the Lord, on focusing on something different this year. Instead of focusing on the number on a scale or our waist size, we're focusing, yes, on our health, and as a byproduct, losing weight and getting healthy. But the main focus right now for us is surrendering our journey. And for a lot of us, it's surrendering the outcome, letting go of the desire for skinny and focusing on just getting healthy, surrendering our whole journey to Christ. And we've done that. I've actually focused on that for 2 months in a row because it was so powerful. Everybody's like, we need to keep going with this. So that's what we're continuing to dig into this year, is just how do we let go of this need to, make our bodies a project, to always improving and bettering our bodies, and changing it to the focus of honoring God with our bodies, with our choices, and surrendering the rest to Him. It's been it's been really powerful.
I know that is so powerful. That is where the freedom is.
Yes, it
And
sure is.
so easy to focus on the outcome and just be so tied to that number on the scale or how we feel. And I know that's important,
Yeah.
but it's not the driving force, like the why. Like you switch from the what or the outcome to the why we're doing this.
Yes.
And that I can make much better decisions when I'm focused on nourishing my body to the glory of God. And that is just so powerful. So I know that that's bearing a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
And are you going to keep doing that or switch, or do you just kind of go with the flow
Yeah.
or whatever the Lord's leading?
Usually I go where the Lord leads. And this year, He really kind of laid surrender on my heart. And so I plan on really focusing on it from some aspect throughout the year. So this month has been about heartfelt surrender, like the condition of the heart. Why is it so hard for us to surrender? Next month, we're talking about surrendering the noise, and not just food noise, but the noise of culture, the noise of everything around us pressuring us to do better all the time, do better. And instead of that, the surrender there, of surrendering that to God as well, and focusing, letting Him have control of the outcome, not us.
Yes, yes, and yes. More of that, please. Okay, we're going to wrap things up, but first, I would like to ask you to think about your people out there. Think about your person, your people. Is there anything on your heart, any encouragement that you would like to share to the listeners here?
Yeah, yeah. One thing that I would love to say is that you are just never too far gone. I have felt for years, I felt like I was too far gone, like I was beyond fixing. I was always going to be struggling with my weight, and I would never, get it right, so to say. And honestly, the surrender piece has taught me that I am not a project. I am not too far gone. The Lord is always working on me. I just need to take the next right step, the next step in a good direction, focusing on the next step in front of me, not my future. My future matters, but at the same time, my next step is what matters. My next right meal, my next healthy choice, my next opportunity to surrender. That is what I focus on, not always the long-term impact, Sometimes that's too big to focus on, and it feels so hopeless when you've struggled on again, off again, on again, off again your whole life. Forever seems impossible. So I want to encourage women that you are never in that place of too far gone. There's always it's just the next meal, the next step, the next right thing. That's it. That's all you have to focus on. And, fruit will come from that.
That is such a good word. I know that my listeners are going to be blessed. I'm blessed by that. You are an amazing person, amazing coach, mother, wife, friend, and more. Thank you so much for being here today. And I would love to invite you back another time so we can continue our conversation.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, ladies, before you go, I have to share something that completely changed my life. If you're sick of brain fog, tossing and turning all night, low-level anxiety, or that stubborn weight gain that just won't budge, trust me, I get it. I struggled for years without realizing that bioidentical hormone therapy could be the game changer I was missing. But then I found Kiora, and let me tell you, it's been a total transformation. I'm finally sleeping through the night, no more hot flashes, no more brain fog, and my anxiety is gone. I feel fantastic, and it's all thanks to Kiora's personalized approach to hormone health. Now, just so you know, I've partnered with Kiora because their hormone solutions truly changed my life. As an affiliate, I may earn commissions if you purchase through my link, but I'm sharing this because I genuinely believe in what they offer. Kiora specializes in bioidentical hormone therapy designed just for you, backed by expert care and science. And the best part, they make it easy to get started. Take their quick hormone quiz to find out what your body really needs and start feeling like yourself again. No more guessing games. So don't wait. Click the link in my show notes right now. Take the quiz and see how Kiora can help you finally get your hormones in check. Trust me, your best self is waiting. That's Kiora, Kiaora. Click the link in the show notes and take the quiz and start your journey to balanced hormones today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a friend who might be struggling to lose weight in perimenopause or even menopause without confusion and without overwhelm? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcast. It blesses me to know this podcast is helping you. Time to grab my protein smoothie and head to the pickleball court. I'll meet you back here on Wednesday for another Honeycast episode. See ya.